Good day to each and everyone. I am Cindy Pamaong of BSHM 3A, and today we'll be talking about the Tourism and Hospitality Management, Education of Chapter 15, and for our learning objectives. We have here to differentiate schools abiding with laws from those that are not identified, the requirements in the opening and operations of a tourism or hospitality management program and tourism related technical vocational programs and identify the laws governing various issues in tourism and hospitality educations. And for the next slide is our topic outline. We have here the curriculum, the school laboratories and other CHED requirements, student practicum or apprenticeship, accreditations and the regulations of schools, tuition fees, sexual harassment in the academy, random drug testing for tertiary level students, tertiary education's equivalency, and foreign students. So for the next slide is the curriculum. The curriculum of the BS Tourism and BS Hotel and Restaurant Management programs of the different colleges and universities around the country should be compliant with CHED Memorandum Order Number 31 Series of 2001. The next slide is the curriculum. In accordance with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act RA number 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1954, the following minimum curricular requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management or the HM Tourism are hereby adopted and promulgated by the commissions. So the government also encourages all higher educations institutions to institutionalize the ladderized interface between the technical vocational education and training or the IVET and higher educations or the HE, which enables students to earn certifications at each year level of competency and enables them to secure gainful employment. So section 4 of CMO 27 series of 2006 has identified 8 priority course programs for national implementations, and this includes BS Tourism, BS Hotel and Restaurant Management, and BS Travel Management. So for the next slide is a school laboratories and other CHED requirements. So under the law, the grant of government recognition shall be based on full 100% compliance with the minimum requirements prescribed by CHED in the offering of a particular programs of study, specifically in terms of faculty, library, laboratory, and administrations. So schools offerings BS Hotel and Restaurant Management or Hospitality Management are required to have different kind of laboratories. Example of it is kitchen laboratory for food preparations, mock-up guest room for housekeeping, front office for simulations, mock-up restaurant and bar for food and beverage service, and a computer laboratory for computer subjects. Good laboratories aim to hone the practical skills of the students. So for the next slide, this is student practicum or apprenticeship. So under the law in relations to CMO number 31 series of 2001, the minimum requirements for student practicum in BS Tourism and BS Hotel Restaurant Managements are 3 units. So we have here the discussion of the law, qualifications of requirements for the agencies parties involved. We have here the higher education institutions, the training partner, the third party training partner, and the student. We also have the obligations or responsibilities of the agencies, parties involved. We have here the higher education institutions, training partner, third party training partner, or the TPTP, the student, the parent, and the guardian. We also have the operations of the International Practicum Training Program, the implementations, monitoring, and evaluations, durations of training. So for the next slide is the accreditation and the regulations of schools. So under the Higher Education Act of 1994, in RA 7722, the Commissions on Higher Education, or the CHED, promotes voluntary non-governmental accreditations as a means to enhance quality and excellence in higher educations. CHED encourages higher education institutions to go beyond minimum standards and supports accreditations system while safeguarding their voluntary and independent nature. According to CHED Memorandum Order Number 6, Series of 1997, institutions with Level 3 accredited status are granted full autonomy, while those with Level 2 accreditations receive partial deregulations, including curricular autonomy. So for the next slide is the tuition fees. So the allowable increase in tuition and other fees in all levels should not be more than the prevailing national inflation rate. Shall refer to the average annual headline inflation rate at national level of the immediately preceding year prior to the academic year for which the intended increase shall take effect. So for the next slide, we have here the sexual harassment in the academy. Under the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995 in RA 7877, sexual harassment in schools or training environments occurs when someone in authority abuses their positions to demand sexual favors or create a hostile and intimidating environment for students or trainees. So this includes making sexual favors or conditions for grades, honors, scholarships, or other benefits. School heads are legally required to prevent such act by creating clear procedures for addressing complaints, involving students' representatives in drafting rules, and forming a committee on decorum and investigations. If school heads fail to act on reported incidents, they can be held liable for the damages. So for the next slide is the random drug testing for tertiary level students. So in accordance with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act Number 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994, and pursuant to Section 336C of Article 3 of RA 9160, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, random drug testing of students in public and private tertiary or higher educational institutions will be implemented beginning on 2003. So next slide is a tertiary education equivalency. So under the law of CMO 21 series of 1997 provides the policies and guidelines on the implementation of the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program or the ETIP pursuant to Executive Order 330. So for the next slide is a foreign students, the law. There have been a number of CHED memoranda issued in relation to processing foreign students in the Philippines. So the CMO 53 is 1997 amendments to CHED Memorandum Order, the CMO number 2 series of 1994, the implementing of guidelines on the entry and stay of foreign students in the Philippines and the establishment of an interagency committee for the purpose to conform with Executive Order Number 423 signed on 25 June 1997, amending Executive Order Number 188. CMO 7, 1996, submissions of the name of designated liaison officers of higher education institutions with foreign students. So for the next slide also, we have here the CMO 1, 1996 submissions of the report on foreign students with expired visas, derogatory records. On the CMO 15, 1995 general procedure in the processing of entry and stay of foreign students. The CMO 2 is 1994 rules and regulations to implement EO number 188, guidelines on the entry and stay of foreign students in the Philippines, and the establishments of an interagency committee for the purpose. I think that's all for my report. Thank you and God bless us all.